everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So, struggled a little bit with what to do, and I remembered I had these images. Now these are from ArtVintages, and this set is called Prank Cards Kids 1. And because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, I decided that I would have a little look off camera to see if I could find some images that would suit the cards or tags that I had. So these are the ones I've selected. I think they're really pretty on the cards that I've got them on, and I'm going to go with that. Now I am kind of thinking that I would like to sew around them before I attach these, and I probably should have done that before I turn the camera back on, but you know, hindsight, all that. So I may ink these up, I think, and then I may quickly turn the camera off and sew around them and then come back. I have kind of struggled with what to do with these tags, and I don't know whether it's got to do with the fact that my backing papers are all patterned paper. There's no text. I have no brown packaging paper with my gesso that's a favourite go-to. No book paper, nothing to break up the pattern, and so finding something to go on the front I found really difficult because obviously there's a lot of colour in both. So I found that a really interesting process because I'd not really thought about it before when I was collaging. The fact that I do often have those more negative or neutral backgrounds. So it's certainly something for me to think about. I'm intrigued to know if any of you have come across that stumbling block before, or if it's just me. It's probably just me, and that's fine. But yes, it's been quite interesting because I really haven't known how to move forward with these. I've kind of been a little bit stuck. So I'm going to turn the camera off quickly and I'm going to sew around these and then I'll pop back. Won't be long. Okay, so I've got them all stitched around. I really love them. They're a little bit fun, a little bit different, and a little bit messy, and I think that's added a really lovely detail that was lacking. So that's made me really happy. And I just want to see if I can find some layering fabric. Now, I have started to follow in Gayle Agostinelli's footsteps, and I have got some fabrics on some rings. Now, I've made two separate lots. They're both the same fabrics, but one is slightly smaller pieces than the other. Part of the reason I decided to follow suit was because I have a lot of beautiful layering fabrics and even pattern fabrics, and they're in containers and they're kind of stacked on top of each other, and so when I'm crafting with you, it's really difficult to get to those fabrics. So I have been watching Gayle use hers for a little while now and thinking to myself, I really need to do something like that because I'm not using the really fabulous fabrics that I have because they're not so easily accessible. And I'm really, really glad that I did. So I can't tell you what sort of fabric this is. I picked it up in the sales bin at Spotlight and thought it would be a really fun layering fabric, and it frays really, really easily, really well. It may fray too well. I may end up with hardly any fabric left on my tag by the time it's been used a few times, but I think that frayed edge would be really pretty too. So, and again, it's not bulky by any means, so not adding a lot of, oh, my words, I'm not adding a lot of thickness to my tag by using it. Okay, and then I'm just using my fabric glue for these. I probably could use my art glitter glue, but I feel like because I have some layers, the fabric glue can seep through a little easier is what I'm thinking. So So I really love that. Trying to decide if I want to sew around that now. I'm thinking maybe I do, but so I'll do a couple with this fabric and then I'll see what else I have to play with. Possibly a little big. It's a little wonky. Fabric can go in my scraps. I love the frayed edge at the bottom of this piece. Yes. Just going to use the back of my card to pop that down so I get good adherence to the glue. Okay. I was a little worried using these cards that I was covering up too much of that background. It's funny how we put effort into something and then we worry about covering it up, but I actually really love the look of it. So I am wondering too if I need to pop a stencil or something on the back, which I may do. So that's 2. I love the look of this fabric here for layering. This is just a curtain fabric. I got it from my local Spotlight. Here in Australia, it's a shop that has a lot of art and craft supplies, fabrics, wool, all sorts of things. Okay, I think I will use that piece there. Trying not to think too much about this now I've decided what to do, because I've been thinking about it for so long. And I'm loving the way they're coming together. I sound like a cracked record now, I know, sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited to see these evolve finally. Fun and fabulous. I think I will just use, I don't know why I just suddenly went, am I recording? I think I might just use a calico topper. I just decided, I don't know why I was thinking about it, but I did just go, what am I going to top them with? I'm using my yucky old craft scissors to cut this fabric. They're not the best in the world, but yes, 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 yes. Oh, thank goodness for a plan when it actually falls into place. I was just thinking I probably don't need to add as much glue now that I've decided I might sew around these, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I love these images. Yes, yes, yes. And so I have another layering fabric here, which is another lace curtain, or another piece of curtain lace if you like. This one's a bit of a go-to. I don't know why, but I think I've managed to be in store when they've had remnants of this particular curtain lace on sale or in their remnants bin on more than one occasion now. So I tend to use it quite a lot because it's readily available, and I really love it. I think it's really pretty. It's got a softness to it. And for layering, I love the curtain laces. I just think they're not bulky. They still give that beautiful lacy look without being overly pricey. I have used new curtain lace, and I have used vintage curtain lace, or pre-loved curtain lace if you like. I picked up some curtain lace. They're actually lace curtains from a garage sale in the past, which are really pretty, and they actually have a real creaminess to them from memory. I'm just thinking, is that the right set of curtains? But that's the other thing. These laces, the colours vary. So some are quite white and some are more on the vintage white or cream side, and I love the variations. Okay, and one more. Thinking I'd like to take just a snippet off here. Deciding on these images all started with this little image. I popped it on this tag and I went, oh, I think that's really pretty. About there. Sorry, just trying to get my placement. I don't know what it is about me lately, but I feel like every time I craft, I end up covered in glue really quickly. Just looking, I've got glue strings off my fingers. Such a predicament. Okay. Okay, fabulous idea, Gayle. So good. I would have been digging in my fabrics looking for those when I wanted to use them rather than having them on hand. So I love that. Now I need to find my stencils. Where have I put them? Okay, again, these are stencils that I created on my Cricut, and I love them. So I'm just going to use the two that I have here, and where is my brush? really just toning down the background. It's kind of looking a little bit new, I suppose, to me, which it isn't. Like I said, these are, that's better. I actually love, I don't know if you can see there. Let's see if I can get it in camera. I've ended up with some shadowing when that stencil moved. That could be something really fun that I might play with now, I think. I really, really like that. Okay, I'm playing with that idea. I'm just going to shift this ever so slightly. I'll see if I can zoom in for you when I edit this video so that you can see the difference that I've made. And I'm not doing all of it. Oh, that is fun. Let me see if I can bring that to you. Sometimes it's just fun to play, isn't it? I'm hoping you can see that okay. I really, really love that. So, just play with that idea a little bit more. Now I do have a tear in this stencil just here. I think it's torn, or it's raised from when I cut it on my Cricut. It kind of shifted a little with the blade because it's so fine. So I do need to be a little bit careful with that. And I find that this brush is actually great for things like that because it doesn't just shifting that slightly. It doesn't feel really abrasive or rough against the stencil, so not quite as noticeable with that one. I didn't shift it quite as much, I don't think, but you can see slight variations. So doing this one again, I'm thinking I might grab another stencil for the last two and change it up. And I'm thinking for the variation to be really noticeable, this first layer needs to be reasonably dark, I'm thinking. Okay, and then shifting it slightly and just a soft light application. And I'm not doing everywhere. I'm trying not to do everywhere. Ah, that's a little bit better. It really does give an almost 3D effect, or 2D rather effect. Kind of acts like a shadow. Okay. So I have this almost honeycomb look stencil. It's not honeycomb, but and I think I may just do this in patches. Love that. I love that it fades out in areas. I'm not doing the double impression with these ones. I think I will just do a variation in the depth of colour with the brush. Fabulous and fun. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to sew around those. I'm going to, actually I do need to get some calico topper. I'm wondering if I can, this has a factory edge on it, I'm wondering if I can tear that little piece off, and maybe this could be my tab fabric. Actually, sometimes I use my pliers when I can't hang on to things, especially fiddly things like this where I'm trying to tear off the finest little scrap, because I want to keep as much of the fabric intact as possible, but it's obviously not enough. So what I may do is I may just cut it rather than tear it. Such a fine little piece of calico that I feel like if I, well actually I was going to say if I don't use it for this I wouldn't know what I would use it for, but I actually just thought of something. Oh well. I really do have gluey fingers right now. As you see, it's coming off in bits and pieces as I'm trying to get the fabric to release from my fingers because it's sticking to the glue when I go to pick the fabric scraps up. Okay, that will be fine. And now I've done that, I'm thinking it's too thin. I don't mind that. It does get thinner towards the opposite end that I'm using, so actually how about I just use this to cut all of them. Does have holes down the side, obviously from the factory edge I would guess, but I don't mind that. I am going to cut that little piece off because it's got a tear in it. Not really sure why I put that in my scraps, but I did. I think that's all I need. Wondering if I can fray this a little bit. Oh, yes, I can. That's what it was missing. Okay, so I am going to finish fraying these, and I'm going to stitch the tabs on. I'm going to stitch around my image, and I will pop back and show you the finished results. I won't be long. Okay, so I'm back again. I have finished putting the cards together, sewing all the images on, and thought I would share with you. So we have these collage cards with the calico stamped images, and I just love the way they have turned out. I love the detail of the sewing on the back. It breaks the journaling card up into segments, which I think is really fun for journaling. And these stamps are, I believe, from Stampin' Up, so okay. So I'll just lay those out and show you. Get my brush out of the way. So that was the first lot of journaling cards that we created. And then we have, and I'll just hold them closer to the camera so that you can see the details. Love the images. Just love the way they've turned out. Love the sewing on the back. I love that sewing the images has created segments in the back for journaling. So isn't she pretty? Love, love, love. So sweet. Oops, I feel like I have two. Yes, I do. I should share with you actually. When I was sewing some cards together just recently, I sewed two together. Well, I started to actually. It was these journaling cards, and I can show you which one it was because I ended up with a little hole, line of holes in my card, and I went, I'm just going to add some stitching in there and let it be another detail. So that little line of stitching lets me know that it's the one that I tried to sew to something else. So I will spread these out so that you can see them as a group. I just love them. Whoops. Hoping they'll all fit on camera. Might have to overlap a little. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I really love the way they've turned out, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye for now.